You can actually no longer afford to have a lack or scarcity mindset because there has never been a more important time in history to be a good money manifester, in my personal opinion. Hello and welcome back to my channel. Glad to have you here. My name is Kelsey Aida. I'm your guide to helping you manifest your best life and love yourself through the process with my manifesting sidekick here, Otto, the mini-ween. He is honestly the best manifester I know, so he helps me out in all these videos. Subscribe if you love wiener dogs, subscribe if you're into manifesting, and subscribe if you're ready to live your best life, because we are about to teach you about some money manifesting. This is part 2 of our new video series on manifesting more money, how to become a money magnet, and today we are diving into how to know if your money mindset is blocking your abundance and what to do about it. So how to work through those limiting beliefs. And if you're into manifesting more money, if that's one of your goals for this year or any year that you're watching this, then I think this video will be well worth your time. What do you think, Otto? Does my lotion taste good? Yeah, that's all he really cares about. Okay, go in your bed, go in your bed. For starters, we need to talk about the power of the mind. What if I told you that over 80% of your success was either going to happen or not based on your mindset? Now, this is not cold, hard science, but studies by Carol Dweck at Stanford University have shown that individuals with a growth mindset are more likely to succeed in general than those with a fixed mindset. In Napoleon Hill's book, Think and Grow Rich, which I'm sure you're familiar with, it's been a classic for a long time, he interviews over 500 successful individuals and finds out that the key to most of their success is simply mindset. That means that the mental beliefs and habits of these people is what drove most of their success, even more than external resources or strategy. And I can tell you, as the host of High Vibe It, I've talked to hundreds, like tons of coaches and transformation facilitators, and they will all attest to the fact that, yeah, if you have a shitty mindset, no amount of taking the right action or manifesting methods or any of that is going to work for you. Otto, can you stop walking around? Hey. Anyway, hence why I'm making this video for you today, because if your money mindset is not on fleek, it is going to be very hard to manifest abundance. So here's how to tell the state of your money mindset, okay? Just follow me for a second. Do you ever have thoughts such as, I'll start saving and investing when I make more money? Other people are better at money than me. It's selfish to want more money. I feel bad for wanting more when others have so little. If you related to any of those sentiments or statements, congratulations, you have a lack mindset. But don't worry, we can turn it around by the end of this video. It is not something to be ashamed of. We all have so much programming when it comes to money that most of us are in a lack mindset. And that's why we struggle to create more, to bring in more, to receive more, because we think we want more money, but then we're really resisting it because we have all these limiting beliefs and stories that money is bad, rich people are evil, blah, blah, blah. It's so hard to make this, that, and the other. And then even if you do try, it's like all of that is in the back just going like, no, 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 no. And we don't want that, right? So that's what we're going to work through. If you're new to the concept of lack or scarcity mindset, it's basically just when you are perceiving a scarcity, or when you don't believe that there is enough to go around, or like, yeah, everyone else can have money, but like not me, right? You would be in a position of lack if you're thinking that. And while it is true that some resources are finite, money is actually absolutely not one of them. And I'm about to tell you why. I have all my notes here. So if you see me looking over here, that's why. But I don't want to mess this up because it's important. Okay, so for starters, the most recent data suggests that only 8 to 10% of the total global money supply actually exists in physical cash, which means that actually over 90% of money is just a number on a screen. Think about that. We are working for a number on a screen. We're losing our minds every day for like X's and O's on a screen, commas, zeros, numbers. Like it's literally, most of it doesn't even exist. So that should blow your mind right there. And that's not even the craziest part. Just since 2020 alone, the money supply here in the US has increased by a whopping 40%. Okay, I don't think you guys understand like what this actually means. This means that the Federal Reserve in the United States printed or created 40% of all the dollars that have ever been in circulation ever, basically from thin air, just in the last few years. That's wild. And because since 1971, money has no longer been backed by gold, which is a semi scarce resource, it is therefore theoretically unlimited, especially since they just keep printing it at their whim. And the more money they print, the less your money is worth, which is why everything feels so expensive and so inflated. And most importantly, this is why you can actually no longer afford to have a lack or scarcity mindset because there has never been a more important time in history to be a good money manifester, in my personal opinion. So, how exactly can you start to shift those thoughts of lack and scarcity to thoughts of safety, success, abundance, letting money in, receiving, allowing? Let's dive in. There are four things you can do that will really, really help you to overcome your scarcity and lack mindset. Number one is to shift your focus away from money and onto how blessed you already are. Now, this gets easier when you realize that money manifesting is not always about thinking about manifesting, journaling on, obsessing over money, right? That's not how you actually manifest more money. How you manifest more money is by changing your vibration. And you can't change your vibration in a positive way by focusing on something that you feel so much lack about. So, money manifesting is not just always about focusing on money. It's also about focusing on how the wealthy version of you feels and how to feel that now, right? But it's really hard to feel that now when you don't have the money and you think you need the money to be able to feel that. So you're like, what am I supposed to do, right? So that's where you want to shift your focus away from money and look at an area of your life where you do feel successful, prosperous, and abundant right now. And I actually have a free guided meditation to help you guys align with the frequency of abundance and gratitude and thankfulness in just 13 minutes a day. It's free. It's in the show notes, so snag that if you want it. But you can also do this through journaling. You can do this through any type of gratitude practice that you really like or enjoy. You can do this through yoga. You can do this through whatever way that makes you feel nourished. Do more of that. So, shifting your focus away from money can be a really good way to loosen up your resistance and to kind of shift away from that scarcity mindset temporarily. That will help you get enough time to kind of lift your vibration. And from there, when you do go back to focus on money, you'll be in a different vibrational state and you'll have better feeling thoughts around it. But that's not the only thing you need to do. Step two is every time you have a negative thought about money, about working, about investing, about finance, about whatever it is, about yourself, you need to notice that and address it on the spot. This is like a karate of mental yoga of like every time you notice a thought that feels bad, we say, no, no, no. I don't like that thought. That thought makes me feel poor as fuck. That thought makes me feel like I'll never have the money I want to receive. That thought makes me feel like it's impossible, right? You notice how bad it makes you feel. And then you have the choice point to choose better, right? What would you rather think? And how can you convince yourself of the new, better belief? Because it's not enough to just have a thought of like, I suck with money, and then try the affirmation, I'm amazing with money. Because if that's not true, you're only going to create more fragmentation in your psyche. You're only going to do more damage to your self esteem, and you're just going to feel like a fraud and a liar. And that affirmation will not help you at all. So instead, what you need to do is let's say if you have a thought like, I suck with money, then you need to shift into something that feels better to believe, like, maybe I haven't been the best with money up until now, but I'm committed to learning. I'm excited to get better with money. Like, I can only get better at money from here. Like, if I really am that bad, like, we can only go up from here, right? So it's like shifting the narrative in a way that feels true and expansive is going to take you places in life. So let's go into a couple more examples to make this really super duper practical. If you have thoughts like, I can't afford that, that could become something more empowered, like, how can I afford that, right? When you shift from I can't do it, an energetically closed off thought, and you open yourself to curiosity, how could I be able to do it? That's going to create a shift in your mindset that allows you to be open to possibilities and opportunities. A thought like, I have to work really hard to make money. Making more money means working harder. I don't really know if I want to do that. Could shift into something like, do I really have to work harder to make more money? Or do I need to work for a different company, make more doing the same thing I'm doing now? Do I need to start investing so my money can make more money for me? Like, it's not always about working harder. And the wealthiest people will tell you they didn't work harder and harder and harder and harder to make more money. They strategize and strategize and strategize to make more money. Yes, hard work plays an important role in the beginning when you're just earning all your income. But from there, the game totally changes at every level. And if it was true, sorry, this is just me going on a tangent. If it was true that the hardest working people made the most money, then miners would be making the most money, teachers would be making the most money, nurses would be making the most money, janitors would be making the most money, but they're not, right? So we need to separate the hard work and the money just a little bit in the mind in order to open yourself up to possibility that maybe it doesn't need to be harder, but your strategy does need to be different. Okay, the third thing you're going to do to change your negative mindset around money is to start shifting your identity. Now, I've noticed that identity work on the internet has been taught in just kind of like a vague, confusing way. So hopefully I can break it down for you in a way that makes sense. But essentially, what you're going to do is shift your identity from someone who is poor or someone who is lacking or someone who can't do it to someone who is in the process of becoming wealthy. Because most self made millionaires and billionaires, I don't know what the stat is, I just gave it away, are self made, right? They didn't come from money. Most wealthy people don't just come from money, especially in America. I think now the stat is like 1 in every 15 people is a millionaire. And that wasn't because they were born rich, right? Well, most of us are just born with nothing and then we have to create from there. So I want you to think of yourself not as someone who's poor or who can't do it or who isn't there yet, but someone who is on their way. You're in the process of, you're blossoming into, right? Because what most people do is they try to jump the Grand Canyon and they're like, oh my God, I'm so poor. But they tell me to do affirmations like, I'm a millionaire. So let me just affirm I'm a millionaire until it comes true. And like, this does not work because it fragments your psyche. It makes you feel stupid. And you're just lying to yourself of like, I'm a millionaire. But then you're just judging yourself like, well, actually, I'm not a millionaire. Instead of pretending to be rich, and faking it till you make it, which other manifesting teachers will tell you to do, and I think is dumb. You're going to have to just start to become it and embody it in a way that feels true and expansive and like you're growing into it. And to help you start to embody your wealthiest self, let's analyze some of the behaviors and traits of wealthy people. I have a list. Wealthy people speak well of themselves and their life. Wealthy people don't feel guilty for wanting to be well resourced. Wealthy people purposefully surround themselves with other successful people. They're always learning and growing. So they are investing their time and energy and money into learning the tricks of the trade, so to speak, at every level, in every sector. There's different ways to multiply money. They're asking better questions to get better answers. They're thinking long term when it comes to money and results, which I know a lot of people who struggle with money are not thinking long term and are not planning for long term. And plot twists, this is just a special extra credit one, they are leveraging debt to get rich. They are using debt to their advantage to get rich. Now, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not telling you to max out all your credit cards, to start some business or whatever you think I'm insinuating. I'm not. But I'm just telling you, rich people leverage debt to get rich. They don't see debt as the enemy, right? And I will say there is good debt and there is bad debt. There's beneficial debt, there is detrimental debt. That's for you to decide in your life, which is which. But I just wanted to plant that little seed. They think so differently and they treat money as a game. So from today on, I want you to shift your identity into someone who is becoming wealthy. So don't see yourself as someone who's cursed financially or someone who can't do it or hasn't done it in the past or whatever excuse you have. But think of yourself as someone who's in the process of, someone who's learning to become wealthy. And that'll just open you to a whole new timeline, which leads us beautifully into our next thing that you can do. Step number 4, which is to stop looking for limitations and start looking for opportunities. Now, most people, they really love to justify their current circumstances by like, oh, I'm financially cursed, or I don't have the right opportunities, or I don't have more money because this, or nobody's taught me, or whatever, whatever. And you can make all the excuses that you want, but the excuses aren't going to get you to where you want to go. right? So you need to stop justifying where you are, stop looking for limitations, stop proving why you are where you are, and start looking for opportunities. You can even just ask the universe for signs, ask the universe for opportunities. Hey, universe, send me some money making opportunities. Send me some opportunities to learn about money, to master the game of wealth. Send me the opportunities. Because a lot of times you might have a lot of resistance around money itself, but you might not have any resistance to opportunity. Opportunity feels good. Opportunity feels open. Opportunity feels expansive. Opportunity feels juicy, right? So if you shifted from trying to manifest money to manifesting opportunities, I think a lot more would come to you. The truth is, most people keep recreating the same reality and keeping themselves stuck by constantly noticing what they don't have, what's missing, the money they're not making, how rich they aren't yet, when instead, if they would shift their focus to opportunities, calling them in and acting on them, they would be living a very different reality. Even though all those frustrations might be true, it doesn't mean you have to fixate on them all day long. You can just notice this is the reality, this is where we're working off of, and this is like the baseline that I can jump off of to get to where I want to go. It doesn't matter how much money you have in your bank account. The past is in the past if you let it be and you stop recreating that and you look at every moment as a new moment to create a new opportunity from that jumping off point. Basically, what you want to do here is task your mind with scanning your reality to find opportunity. And you're going to activate your, I think it's called reticular activating system. Is that what it's called? Someone look it up or correct me in the comments. You're going to activate your reticular activating system. Sounds so sciencey. Say that 10 times fast. To look for opportunities and find them for you and point them out to you instead of looking for lack, why you haven't been able to do it, excuses, yada, yada. And now your subconscious mind is going to be staying on high alert, constantly looking for opportunities, which will not only help to magnetize them to you, but when they are presented to you, you can recognize them and act on them. So there you have it. That's how you're going to shift from a scarcity and lack mindset to one of abundance and opportunity. I will go over the steps here to summarize. You're going to shift your focus away from money and onto how blessed you already are. You are going to watch those negative thoughts like a hawk and rewrite them in real time. If you need to do it in a journal entry, you can. Oh, I forgot to mention in my Money Magnetics mini course, which helps you to work through your money resistance, there's a journal that comes with it that's really good for working through these limiting beliefs. So if you want to journal on it and you want like a million prompts on money manifesting, make sure to get into the mini course. Number 3, you're shifting your identity from someone who is poor or someone who can't do it to someone who is open to opportunities and on their way to becoming rich. And lastly, you're going to stop fixating on limitations and start focusing on opportunities. Otto baby, it's your time to shine. Alrighty, let us know in the comments if you made it all the way to the end of this video. Drop a little heart emoji, drop a money emoji, or just your favorite takeaway from the video. I love to connect with you guys in the comments. As far as further resources go, I would definitely encourage you to get into the Money Magnetics mini course, which I will link to in the show notes. It's super financially accessible and it is like such a potent resource to just help you work through those limiting beliefs in like one afternoon. And the journal that comes with it is also very nice. And don't forget to subscribe because we're going to be doing lots more videos on money manifesting. This is just video 2 of the entire money manifesting series to help you become a magnet for more money. And now for Otto's Paw of Attraction tip of the day. Are you bored with your tip of the day? Otto wanted me to tell you that if you play more often, you will bring yourself into a vibrational state of joy, and that will make you a magnet for abundance and money. Not that Otto has to worry about money. Hell, you don't even think about money. Can you imagine just never thinking about money? Like, what a life. I want to reincarnate as Otto. Anyway, I'm Kelsey Aida, your guide to manifesting your best life and loving yourself through the process. We will see you in the next video, and make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a thing. Good job, baby. Good job. Why are you so cute and so wise? I love you.